And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at the second expansion for Stockpile. Insider trading, fantastic game. And now we have Stockpile Illicit Investments. This is the second one after continuing corruption. This one adds action cards and a few minor other things to the game. Here they are. This expansion adds a few minor things like new wooden pieces here to keep track of the stocks. That's all well and good. It also introduces this first player card, which seems minor at first, but this actually has a variant in the game that, especially in a 3 to 4 player game, because going first is not going to be even across the board. So after all the other cards have been placed out, on a round, whoever has the first player card can put it on one of the piles, and that's bid on. Whoever wins that, which could be a negative thing, you don't necessarily want to be first next round, can then give this to anyone they want. They can keep it if they want, or give it to anybody else, and that person is the new first player. This adds a little bit of spice to the bidding, because it can certainly change a pile if you know the first player marker is there. The main change of the game, though, and there's one investor included who works with this change, are these new investment cards. These are action cards, investment strategy cards. At the beginning of the game, everybody is going to get 3 of them, plus the number of rounds in the game. You will then discard 2 of your choice, leaving you with 1 more than the number of rounds of the game. Each round, during the action phase, when you play the up and down cards to change the stock prices, you may play 1 of these cards. So you're going to, at most, play all of them but 1. Unless you are Illicit Ivan, who starts with extras, and he can play 2 per round. Now, these cards have a cost in the top. Many times that cost is money. You can see 2,000, 5,000 here. Sometimes that cost is a card. And so sometimes the cost is free. So it's up to you whether you pay the cost or not. So for example, this one here costs 2,000, and you can reveal your forecast and company cards and then take 10,000. So you give up your insider information to get, well, essentially 8,000. That's kind of cool. Here, you get money for finishing on a 0, 1, 3 bidding spot this round. So you might bid differently knowing this card is in your hand. One company of your choice pays 1,000 in dividends, but that's not necessarily just to you. 3,000 for each different company you own 1 or more shares in. That could be amazing. It costs 5,000 to play it, but if you have shares in all 6, of course you'll have to show everybody that you have that, so there's that too. 2,000 for every 1,000 of trading fees you obtain. That's pretty awesome. Take those negative cards. Knowing you have this card will change it up. You can sell 3 shares for 8,000 each, which could be amazing, or not so amazing depending on where they are. Look at 2 sets of insider information, other players or someone else's, and take 3,000. However, it costs 4,000 to play. And so here you can sell 3 shares at 5,000 higher than their current price. Get rid of these shares, pump and dump. Here you just get $12,000, but you got to give up a card to do that, which is pretty tough, giving a stock boom or a stock bust. Here you can get points if you end at the end of the bidding. So there's lots of different cards here, and there are many duplicates of the cards, so that many of them are going to come through twice. And they're definitely going to change up the action phase, and everyone's going to play 1. It's also going to slow the game down slightly, because there is going to be an action card per player that's added to the timing of the game. Not much to talk about here other than the rule book, which tells you how the different cards are played and has the rules in it. There's more rules about the first player marker than there is about the cards. That's pretty much it. It also does come with this 2-player investment reference sheet, which is if you're playing with 2 players, the money changes for the different investors will change in that regard. And that's it. You got cards. You can get rid of this box. Everything fits easily in the base game. Now, if you go back and watch my review for Continuing Corruption, I love that expansion. I said it was a must, or at least part of it was a must. The rolling of the dice, I will always play with that. The stocks and the bonds are good, but those dice were fantastic. Interestingly about illicit investments, I will always play with the first player card. but I don't always need to play with this expansion. It's good, and I like it a lot, and I actually like it better than the stocks and bonds from the continuing corruption, but it does do a few things. So first of all, it makes the game more dynamic. I'm going to play these cards, things are going to change, you're always watching. There's a few cards that let you change the prices of the stocks, but most of them are more about getting knowledge or money or doing a few minor things that help the player, necessarily more than change the state of the game. But I'm definitely watching what everyone's doing. There's all sorts of things going on because everyone's playing those, and then if Illicit Ivan's in the game, he's playing 2 of them per turn, which, by the way, good power to have. Now, they don't always work well, and there's a little wonkiness in them, like it's weird to pay $3,000 to get $5,000. I get that you have to have the money in play for the card to work, but it just seems easier just to say it would take $2,000. I get that it doesn't work if you don't have the money, but it just seemed odd for some of the pricing on the cards, and I get why they are the way they were, but they do keep you involved, and they're sitting there, but they also do lengthen the game, so keep that in mind. But that's it. You really are going to look at these, and if you want to put those in your game, you get this expansion. Would I get this expansion for the first player card / rings / 2-player sheet? No. I mean, the rings are rings, and the one first player thing, you could just do that anyway, right, now that you know how it plays. But if you like the idea of the action cards, then this is worth it for you. It's a simple one to me. Like I said, I would play with it, say, in half my games. I do enjoy it. It definitely brings a different feel to it, and it's fun to play these cards. I especially like the one where I get money just for revealing my insider information. I'm willing to share with everybody for a cost. And there's really powerful ones. There's one that lets you move stuff up 2 and move something down 2. That's powerful, but you have to give up one of the market change cards to do so, which means you need to win it in a bid, which means it needs to show up in a bid. So there's a lot of different things going on, and because of these action cards, you will bid slightly differently. So definitely shakes up the game for sure. But it's also not a huge expansion either. It's very small, easy to add in or not play with at all. That's Illicit Investments. Dice Tower Judgment approved.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower. If you enjoyed our video, subscribe to our channel. Dice Tower East in Orlando, in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions.